It's Sunday, January 26th, and I'm here with a tarot snapshot. This is a longer tarot reading. I try to cap it off around 10 minutes, so let's jump right into it. I haven't done one of these in a while because I've been sick. I had to let go of a cat over the Rainbow Bridge. You know, life got in the way, and now I'm here. Now, I'm using the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot by artist Matt Hughes, and this is the Luna version. This is the deck that I was called to do this little tarot snapshot with. This is a 5-card reading. This is to give us insight as to where we're at right now, what is vexing and perplexing us, and what can heal and reveal for all of those challenges in our life. So just setting that intention that this information is, again, for anybody that happens across this video. This information would be for me as well. So I get as much information and benefit out of these messages as anybody else. So let's dive in. 3-card reading. And I really love this format, where we're at, what challenges us, what's the guidance that we need around those challenges. This is something that you can do with your tarot cards or your runes or oracle cards or any other ways that use divination tools like this. So here we go. The card that represents where we're at collectively this week. The 4 of Swords. All right. Now, every Sunday night, I do a personal tarot reading at my house with this version of the deck. So this is the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot, the first version he put out. And then I think he was called out on the fact that everybody in this deck was a white person. So he released the Luna version with people of color and minorities. Now, in the 4 of Swords, we would see this card of the Knight holding the sword. That reading that I did last Sunday for myself using that deck, I was this card as well. So this is a repeating theme for all of us. There is a sense of solitude and peace, perhaps meditation with this card. But my relationship with this card, the 4 of Swords, being that it's a swords card and it has to do with the mind, is that it would be ideal for us to rest ourselves before we wreck ourselves. We've got a lot of things going on in the world around us. We have a significant political change in the United States. Perhaps you're all about that. Perhaps you're terrified about that. We have snowstorms in Louisiana and Florida. We have fires in California. The world is a strange, weird place. It is important that we rest our mind, that we are focused and stable of mind, so we're not reacting to everything that comes across our lap in an unhealthy way, that we're being mindful of our emotions and what they're trying to help us with, and trying to utilize that energy and to roll through it in that way. This one right here is very much an indication that we should do our best to find peace of mind. Rest our minds before we wreck ourselves. You know that saying, rest yourself before you wreck yourself? That's what this card is indicating. It's January too. We're walking into February. This is the dark time of the year. This is the time where we are supposed to go deep, that we are supposed to nurture ourselves like a baby in a womb, so that when the energy of spring and summer comes upon us, that we are nourished and sustained for all that season requires of us. So remember to rest yourself before you wreck yourself. Now, what vexes and perplexes us? What challenges us? The 5 of Swords, the card directly after the 4 of Swords. Okay, so 1, it's a mind card because it's a sword card. And it can also indicate communication and breath, what have you, but this is a card of conflict. I also see this not necessarily as a card of conflict around us, but within us. That we have versions of ourselves, that we have parts of ourselves that's just really, we're at conflict with. We have versions of ourselves that we have to say goodbye to. So allow us to just sit for a moment with the fact that fear does very little to serve us. Now, if you are in the middle of the woods and wolves are hunting you down, then fear is appropriate. But at a certain point in our life, we have to ask, what's the anxiety doing for us? What's the worry doing for us? What's the fear doing for us? And is there a way for us to mitigate that? And You can see this person has won a fight and they've sent 2 other people away. So I feel like this is a version of ourselves or a part of ourselves that we need to say goodbye to, that we need to just release. And I think that it's difficult for us to do so because that's where we're at. This can also speak to challenge outside of us in the way that we've got to say goodbye to people that vex us and perplex us. I was sitting with a client and she was with her father in spirit with me, and she was at this place of conflict because she had to drop boundaries around her mom, his wife. And he was very much coming through going, okay, keep yourself safe, keep yourself at peace. You don't owe her, even though she's your mother, you don't owe her your imbalance or your pain or your worry or your anxiety. She's your mom, but that doesn't mean she gets that from you. So he was encouraging his daughter to be at peace, even though her major conflict was with her mother. And she was doing the thing that she'd want anybody else in her position to do, drawing boundaries. So this card for me is the line in the sand card. I have a boundary. Now those boundaries are important to maintain outside of us, but we also have to maintain boundaries on the inside, with those little gremlins that pop up in our mind that we have to be mindful of. What heals and reveals. The Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so the Knight of Pentacles, first it's night. Pentacles is earth, body. Now this is also a card of patience. We can see the tilled field behind this knight. This knight is very slow moving, a real steady Eddie or steady Betty, as the case may be. Whenever a knight comes up, it speaks to honor, authority, integrity, devotion to a higher calling. This card, though, is asking us to be patient with the process. That sometimes when we fight gremlins or are in conflict with people around us, that we've got to be patient with ourselves and perhaps people around us. There's also a sense of, what are you fighting for in this world? We've got to rest ourselves. And we did start with a knight, even though it was the 4 of Swords. A knight not only trains every day, but knows when to take care of themselves. When they rest themselves, they're not worn out, and their kingdom, let me use air quotes, their kingdom, their families, their communities get the best version of themselves. A knight, somebody who is fighting for a cause, somebody who is devoted to their family, community, their world around them. They're not beating themselves up. They're not wearing themselves thin because they know that's not sustainable. So even if it's just the battles with those gremlins in your mind or the interpersonal conflicts that you have going around outside of you, make sure that you take care of yourself. Make sure that you're being mindful of what you're here for and what you're fighting for. All right. So patience, steadiness, self-care, practice, taking care of one's body, taking care of one's mind. Interestingly, there is a connection between the mind and the body. This would represent the body. This would represent the mind. So this might be encouraging us to go maybe for a walk or do some yoga or take care of our body to help us rest our mind. So consider that as well. All my love to you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Thank you again.